Hey guys, Jay here and welcome back. And today we're going to be talking about how to build an Amazon FBA business in the absolute laziest way possible, because that's what it's all about. When you start Amazon FBA, it's to buy back your time, buy back your freedom, not work a million hours like you do in a job or a school or whatnot. This is what it's all about. Okay. So your number one goal when it comes out to building a business is build an Amazon FBA business while spending the least amount of time possible. And I guess you can consider that laziest, right? All right. So let's jump into it. Number one, the good news about all of this is it's about information, not more work. So say that to yourselves 2, 3, 4, 5 times, however many times you need to say it. It's all about information, not doing more work, right? We're not in the industry of putting on a hard hat and doing work to get more production. It's about learning of what actually works and then doing more of that. So we're gonna go through it step by step. Here we go. Number one, information is worth money, a lot of money. This is something that I didn't believe when I first got started. I was completely blinded when I actually started to network and talk to people in the industry who were just doing more revenue, more numbers to me, right? And in today's day and age, it's easier than ever to connect with people. I mean, even just watching this YouTube video alone of contacting someone or connecting with someone who knows more about you in the business, just ask them before you make the mistake. It is worth so much money, just these little tidbits and pieces of information to ask and watch how it could revolutionize and change your entire future with the business. Now, again, like I said, this wasn't something I believed in the beginning, but once it started to happen, I was literally mind blown, all right? Number two, this is big. Fail with your time and fast, all right? So this isn't considered extremely lazy in the beginning because you are wasting a little bit of your time and failing. But the faster you fail in the beginning to seeing, okay, this, reverse sourcing is working. Keep a product finder isn't working. These potential suppliers aren't working. These categories aren't working. The faster you do that, the more the business becomes automated, right? Because your decisions are all put up into your head and you can make them so extremely quickly by knowing this works, this doesn't work. I did this for the first 6 months or 2 months or 1 month, whatever it may be. Now let me decide all of my energy and time to something that actually does work. So fail fast. It's one of the biggest statements that I've coined since making YouTube videos, okay? Number three, again, there's a reason why I put these two first, because again, I could have easily just said, go hire a VA, hire somebody, but hiring a team. So if you want to be extremely lazy in the business, right, which at this point in the business, I have a team of 5 members, 3 in sourcing, 2 on the account management side of things. It really comes down to hiring a team. So you're really delegating those roles, product sourcing, admin, management, sending an inventory, checking in with suppliers, whatever it may be. You really want to delegate it by hiring a team. It's not something you want to do before you even understand the business, right? You have to understand sourcing, how it works, how Amazon works in general. But this one is huge when it comes to hiring a team. That will really get you to the side of, kicking your feet up and really just managing it, right? And number 4, give yourself some time. This might be a little bit sidetracked from really being lazy, but if you don't want to put the extra pressure in yourself and building to 6 figures in 2 months or 1 month or whatnot, just zoom out. Just think about how much you can achieve when you zoom out. And I included a little bit of some diagrams and pictures here for this reason, because if you look at it here, this could be you if you just sit back here and just zoom out on everything, right? Think about Amazon FBA in terms of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, where you can be, right? Because this is pictures of me this past year in Switzerland. And then this one was when I first started traveling in Spain, because as some of you guys know, I've been traveling while doing Amazon FBA full time. And the first time I ever traveled was exactly 1 year from the day that I started, June 6th, Amazon FBA. I started in 2022 and I was traveling in 2023. And I was running the business completely remotely. And when I first started, I didn't have pressure on myself to build a really big business in month 1, month 2, month 3. I never really just threw that onto myself, because that's just nonsense. You're going to crumble and have imposter syndrome and want to quit the business. But if you just zoom out from today, when you're starting the business, when you're growing the business, whatever it may be, think about it to yourself. If I keep this same consistency and pace up for a year or 2 years, where can I go with this business? And this is extremely important, I think, because you always want to have goals. You always want to have freedom in sight. And this is a huge one when it comes to giving yourself time. Okay, let's keep rolling into it. Now, I want to get into some nitty gritty stuff about really, getting onto the lazy side of things and how to elevate it. So we're going to go through 4 big points that I want to touch on to, essentially dial it back when it comes to building out the business. All right, so here comes number 1. We have join a community. And I don't mean paying $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 to learn from a mentor or anything like that. Obviously, mentors are awesome, but just joining a community of people who are also building the business or who are, in the day-to-day like you, product sourcing, Keepa, reverse sourcing. If you brought any of these topics up to anybody who was just on the street or didn't know Amazon FBA, they would look at you like you had three heads. Believe me, they've been looking at me like I had three heads for the past 4 years, right? So by joining a community, you're able to just get questions and answers instantly, all right? Even just asking me in the comments or anywhere, right? Just join a community, have some sort of surrounding behind you, so that way every time you run into an issue, hey, this happened with my listing, what should I do? Answered. Hey, this happened with a potential product, what should I do? Answered. That's where you want to be, and it really takes it to the side of things of, instead of trying something, not working, trying something new, that's how you get to the side of failing, all right? Number 2, we have learn how to handle every situation, right? Literally, by asking questions, you know how to handle everything. Whatever it may be with Amazon, potential leads, potential sourcing strategies, how to ship an inventory, how to handle errors, account errors, IP complaints, anything when it comes to Amazon, right? You learn how to handle every situation by just asking, right? Now, I'm not an absolute pro in the business by being in it for 15 or 20 years or any other industry, but I've been doing Amazon for 4 years. I've dealt with every single struggle, every single problem that you could possibly imagine, and I'm here to answer every question for free and just for fun, right? As a network and a community, that's kind of what I do here on YouTube. So asking questions are huge when it comes to learning each situation, all right? And number 3, this thing's giving me fits, but here we go. Abuse the questions. Literally, right? Ask as many as you possibly can. I've said it so many times. I'm open to answer every single question that you possibly need to help you build the business, whether it's in the comments, whether it's in the school, Amazon free school community that I have, whatever it is, abuse the questions before you make the mistakes. It's huge, all right? Number 2, let's roll right into it. Bulk order reach outs. Now, if you've seen one of the videos before, you know that I absolutely praise this because I've been doing this in the business since day one, but reaching out to suppliers to get bulk orders, right? And I mean OA suppliers, not wholesale, not brand direct, not anything like that, right? So let's dive into it. Number 1, contacting a small/medium supplier. We're not talking about PetSmart or Walgreens or CVS. We're talking about those ones like, wholesale or, toolsandhomeimprovements.com. Something really small, something really niche, might be local, might be 5 people working in the company, whatever it may be, but just contacting them to either get a discount or get a bulk order. That one is huge. I have about 20 videos just talking about that in itself. So that one's big. Number 2, it turns into reoccurring orders by contacting these suppliers. Literally, once you have a relationship via email or a phone call with, Bob at, tools.com, whatever it may be, you could just send another email to place another order or just give them another phone call. It makes it a lot easier than doing constant ordering every single day. That's how you get in the side of basically pulling your hair out. And it's not lazy at all. That's very, very tedious. I've been there as well, right? And number 3, it builds a relationship. So by contacting suppliers, small OA suppliers, you have a relationship to potentially get more leads, better communication, better discounts, just like wholesale without having to go through the stress of going through wholesale, okay? Let's roll into the next one. Catch all email. This is kind of changing the pace a little bit and talking about those regular OA leads because if you are selling currently in the business, you're going to know what I'm talking about here. So when you are purchasing from a Walgreens or someone like a CVS that cancels orders if you place 100 of them at a time, what you do is you actually get a catch all email. You go to gmail.com or namecheap.com and you get that .com email. And this catch all email essentially is like mini emails within your email, but it all ties back to one. So that way, when you have to sign up for 10 accounts, 20 accounts, 40 accounts, it all ties back into jlarosa.com or whatever it may be, jlarosa@larosa.com, okay? So it lessens the stress by having to make multiple accounts, check multiple emails, place multiple orders from different emails, by rather just placing all of those orders from multiple different emails that tie back into one. And again, I can make an entire video on this. I touch on it so much more in the community, like I mentioned here, that can make it easier for you to understand, all right? So literally, one email becomes 50 emails by having j@larosa.com. I can have J1, J2, J3, J4, LaRosa1, LaRosa2, and they all tie back into jlarosa@larosa.com or j@larosa.com, whatever I choose it to be, which is huge. And of course, you have to pay for it. It's like $7 a month, I believe, once you buy the domain or something like that, but it's totally worth it for hours of your time, all right? Number 2, you get to stay on top of restocks. So trust me, I've been there with all of these OA suppliers that you place, have 20% discounts, 15% discounts. They run periodically or sometimes during the holidays, and you want to make sure you're first to the punch so that way other sellers can't jump on it. You want to be the first seller, whatever it may be. By doing this, having a catch-all email, you literally just have all these different discounts to one specific catch-all email. You could even name it like discounts@larosa.com and have all those, sign up for, all those on those OA websites that you see, sign up for news and discounts and coupons or whatever it may be, have all of those filter into one email so that way you can check it on a daily basis or a weekly basis and say, oh, great, Walgreens is running their 20% coupon again, let me jump on it, all right? So staying on top of restocks is huge rather than going to the website directly, which I used to do, terrible idea, to see if they actually are providing the discount and whatnot. And lastly, it saves hours every single week, literally every single day, by just having an email that all ties back into one. You're killing 100 birds with one stone. Believe me on that, all right? And lastly, I want to touch into building systems. And I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, build systems and processes and use Notion and it's all going to work out and keep things in a great order flow using AI. I'm not going to really talk about that. I want to keep it a little bit more general and a little bit more base, so it's not as, sounds very nerdy or specific. But when it comes to building systems, one of the first things you want to do is literally your orders. You want to track all of your orders, have one Google Sheet, one spreadsheet to manage all of your orders. And that way you do this on a consistent basis. And eventually you hire a team and you show them how to track your orders, how to track your invoices, how to track shipping. That way it's all centralized, because if you ever have inventory missing or what's going on with this order, what's going on with that order, you don't have to go into a tracking number on, FedEx and try to find the order on your email or, try to contact the supplier. You have it all centralized in one place and you can just check it and make sure it's getting to the prep center, or make sure it's getting to your house, whatever you're prepping the products, and then move on from there. So that's a big one when it comes to tracking your orders with a system. All right. Number 2 is lead criteria. Eventually you'll have a team, but you want to replicate your entire strategy. Now, again, for me, I don't touch into clothing, I don't touch into shoes or anything like that. So you want to have a reoccurring process when it comes to your leads. What are you looking for? 30% ROI, lightweight item, bigger item, I don't know, whatever it may be. You want to have that all documented onto an SOP. So that way, when you do hire a team member, here is exactly what you're looking for, right? It makes it a lot easier when the training, believe me. Number 3 is master lead sheet. I've been here as well, having all these different opportunities and leads. You don't know what to buy because you don't have anything tracked. You want to have a master lead sheet that literally has all of your potential opportunities, your replenishable opportunities, your BOGOs, your discount opportunities, your long-term opportunities, your seasonal opportunities. Keep everything tracked so that way you have a real system around it. Because if you did have a team member doing purchasing for you, you could say, hey, here, right, this is what you're supposed to do. Look at when these opportunities are available, purchase them. Here's how much we want to buy, whatever it may be. You need to have a master lead sheet of all those opportunities, because over the course of a year, 2 years, 4 years, you can imagine how big it gets and how it really turns into a system in itself instead of having to chase every new lead that comes your way. All right. Lastly, team training documents. Like I mentioned, sourcing and your account management. You just want to have a training document. This is exactly how to source. This is exactly how to handle an account. Here's XYZ, do it this way, right? It makes it a lot easier. And when you do hire a person, you're essentially replicating your exact mind and strategy and brain into them, all right? Now, lastly, is kind of like a little bit of a bonus. I want to show you guys an example product that I just came across actually that might help you keep the business a little bit lazy by buying potential opportunities like this one. So we're on this Amazon listing here, and it's a solar energy product. I believe I've shown one of these before in the video, and I want to dive into the Keep It chart. I have no idea what this brand is. I don't know how this branded. I don't know anything really about this listing other than looking at the Keep It chart, because it's kind of how it comes to when you're evaluating products. But what I do know is it's selling at $122, which is really good price. It has unbelievable volume, steady volume over the course of a year, and the seller count is pretty much stable. So there's a lot of opportunity for everybody to win and have success. Now, the reason why I want to consider this one a lazy lead is because look at this chart. You go here at the bottom with all the other sellers on the listing. It's pretty consistent. It starts the year at 40 sellers. It ends the year at 28. All right, bounces down, bounces up. Great. The volume also pretty consistent. Starts the year at 400 sales, 500 sales per month. It's now at 400 sales per month, and it just bounces in between. That's really consistent. And lastly, the price starts at $119, and right now it's at $112 or $120 or so. That's really consistent across the board. If you have a really good supplier, a good price that you reach out to and you buy in bulk from and get a discount, and you buy it for $75 or $60, whatever it may be, and you consistently restock your inventory, this is a really easy way to do the business, because you buy it the first of the month, you buy inventory for 6 weeks or 5 weeks, you do it again in the next month, again in the next month, all the way for 12 times to make, I don't know, $10,000 or $15,000 in profit, 40 or 50 plus $1,000 in revenue, however much money you can, come into stock with and whatnot. And it keeps it really consistent. You do this across 4, 5, 10 products as you build the business. it keeps you working an hour a day, right? And believe me, I'm not just saying this from like, yeah, you work an hour a day and you become a millionaire and whatnot. I'm saying it for somebody who has traveled and had to work an hour a day, because my biggest thing when traveling was wanting to explore, travel to new countries, have a busy schedule. So I needed to force myself to build those systems, make a lazy business out of it, and still enjoy freedom with Amazon while also working an hour a day and bringing in income. So there it goes with kind of a workaround and wraparound way of explaining how to really build the business lazy and whatnot, if you want to really consider that, and keep it really delegated. So there we go. I hope you guys liked the video. As always, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next. I'm going to be making a video as frequently as possible, so that way you can learn Amazon FBA for completely free. So there we go.